So you want to be a builder, then I cannot express how essential it is for you to be able to wrap your mind around a set of construction drawings. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to read them, how to orient yourself within the plan, looking at different window sizes, doors, electric plan, plumbing, mechanical, structural, architectural, all of it. Now let's get into it. Okay, so first off, let me say, I know this is overwhelming. This is literally a novel's worth of paper. And when I was new to all this, and I hadn't really familiarized myself with construction plans, this just completely blew my mind. I was like, how am I gonna understand all of this? Do I need to know every single bit of information in these plans? And let me tell you, you're overcomplicating it. The easiest thing is that really all the information you need to know is written in these plans. So first off, let's just look. Every plan set is going to start with a cover sheet. Usually have some renderings of the property, but more importantly, you have an index here where each one of these pages, it tells you what it is. For instance, you have first floor demo and proposed. You have second floor demo and proposed. Finishes, building selections, exterior elevations, detail pages, window and door schedules. Then we go down to reflected ceiling plan, lighting. Then we have plumbing, HVAC, and then the structural plans. So you know right here, this is your table of contents. Also, you also want to look at the area calculations. This is really important. So it's telling us here what the square feet of our basement, first floor, second floor, total heated, and then all of our garages, patios, covered spaces that are exterior. Let's dive into the set. Again, different architects lay out their plans differently, but usually what comes next is a site plan. So in the site plan, you're just familiarizing yourself with the whole entire lot. So this is really a survey of the whole property, where the buildings are going to lay, different driveways, patios, all of that stuff. Also, there's usually a utilities legend that will tell you where your water, your wastewater, where your electric lines are, underground power, cleanouts, all the things of that nature. And if you don't know what any of those terms are, we're going to be doing different videos on terms to better explain all of those. But let's continue. When you're doing a renovation, it is going to be different than new construction. On a renovation plan, you're always going to have a demo plan. So what this is it's showing you the existing structure with different dashed lines of what you're removing versus what you're leaving. And then you're also going to have a proposed plan. This means what you need to build. Now this is our basement, which we're not doing that much work to, but let's move in to this level plan. So as you can see, this demo plan, all of these hashed lines mean those are the walls that you are removing. And then, you know, there's different types of remodels. If you're going all the way down to the studs, the demo plan is going to note that. But there's also times where we're just doing a kitchen, right? So maybe we're just demoing portions of a wall or portions of the cabinetry or keeping certain fixtures. That should all be noted in the demo plan. Now let's look to our main level proposed plan. So obviously, there's a ton of information here. But when you dissect it, it's really not all that complicated. The very first thing, and this is completely essential if you're reading hard copy plans, is you need an architect scale. Okay, so what this is this scale helps you determine lengths of measurement on the plans. So the first thing you're going to look at the bottom of the page, it's going to tell you what the scale is. Primarily, there's two different types of size plans. There's 24 by 36, or there's a smaller set, 11 by 17. So usually, you'll have two different scales. On the bigger scale, this is 1/4 inch equals 1 foot. If you had an 11 by 17 set, it's 1/8 inch by 1 foot. Let me tell you, do not believe this. When you print these plans, they have to print them to scale. There's a lot of verification that you have to do. So what I do is this is 1/4 is 1 foot. So on the scale here, I find 1/4. There's a measurement right here. It says 3 foot 6 inches. So I come over with my scale, I verify. You start the 0 right at the beginning, and that's 1 2, there's the line for 3, 3'6". Now I have verified that this drawing right here is to scale. Now each page is going to have multiple sets of different drawings. Verify every single one of them. I cannot stress to you how important that is. Okay, let's talk about orientation. Now this can get a little confusing, especially if you don't have a good spatial brain. You have to imagine when you're looking at these plans that you're facing in the direction that you're looking. So what I always try to do is find what is the front of the house. Here's our front door. Or like on the site plan, you'll see where there's a street. Here's our back stairs. So I know that I'm oriented toward the front of the house. And if you're not really that good at this, just take your plans and stand in the position, orient your plans into the physical orientation that you're looking at. It'll help you wrap your mind around it. The more you look at this stuff, the better spatial recognition you'll have, and you'll be able to look at this in more 3D. On a remodel, you always want to verify the as-built and proposed plans to the actual structure, because oftentimes you're going to be a little bit off. But I've seen some plans that are a lot a bit off, and we need to get back with the architect, come out, remeasure, and rediscuss a lot of these things. Another thing I failed to mention that might not be so obvious is this is a floor plan. We're looking from a top-down view. When we talk about a floor plan, that's always what we mean. Now, when we have an elevation, that's going to be looking at the face of a wall. So this is just to orient you on general locations of where our island is, where our range is located. We have our ovens noted on here. We have windows and doors, things of that nature. But to get a true picture, you're going to want to look at the elevations. Okay. Another thing that is very important, especially when you're bidding, is window and door sizes. You always want to push your architect to give you a window and door schedule and spell that all out. But oftentimes, what you're going to see is either a number. So I know that this window is window 102 on the window schedule. The same thing with this door. This is door J on the window schedule. But sometimes they'll list out some numbers on here. There's a few different ways they can do that. Just remember, every door and every window in construction, we talk about width and then height. Okay, now there's a couple different ways that these are noted in plans. Sometimes the sizes of the windows and doors are just noted directly here on the plan. But the best way is to reference the window or door schedule with a number. But now, sometimes you will see different sets of numbers, like 3068. That means a 3'0" wide door by 6'8" tall, which is a standard door size. Doors primarily really are 6'8", 8 foot tall, and 10 foot tall. Now you can get custom doors made in really any height, but that's normally what you're gonna see. Okay, let's go over to the window and door schedule so I can show you how that looks. So we go back to our table of contents. We go down here. All these pages are numbered. The window schedule and door schedule is from page A800 to A803. So let's go to A800. Here we go. We have some windows and doors. These are custom steel units. It's telling us what the whole frame size is, width 9 feet 9 inches by 8 feet tall. It also has a door in there that's labeled on the door schedule. So sometimes doors are integrated inside windows. But if you come over, these are more specialty. Here's some regular windows. We have a 3 foot wide window by 1 feet 5 inches tall. Something that's very important to note is this is showing the window frame size. We always make the rough opening, which is the hole that you're cutting for a window of a door, a 1/2 inch larger than the actual frame. But what I do for ease of access for the guys on site, I tell my window company that all the sizes that you see on the plan is what we're gonna make the rough openings to. So the window company can do all the homework of adding the 1/2 inches. But our framers know that this window is a 3 foot wide by 3 foot tall rough opening. It makes it so much easier. Now, as we continue on, you see more and more windows, and this project is very complex. We have some crazy curves. So we have, obviously all these dimensions where these can be made up, But a lot of this grunt work is going to be on the window supplier to design these windows to the correct size that we need. What we need to do is verify that the windows the supplier designs match with our plan, and that's why you need to know how to read windows and doors. Let's move on to the door schedule. So more windows here, but now here is our door schedule. Every single door is going to be called out by height and width. And also, it tells you the type. Is this a swing door? Is this a barn door? Is this a French door, which is double? Is this a pocket door? Also the function. Passage is a door that you can open without a lock. Privacy is one that would be on a bedroom or a bathroom that you can lock it from the inside. Material. Solid core. You either have solid core, hollow core. It's calling out glass. There's a lot of different materials. Another thing that is very important when it comes to doors is called handing. Let me show you what that means on the plan. Now, when you're talking about handing, picture that your back is against where the hinges are on the door. If the door opens this way, this would be a right-hand door. If the door opens this way, it would be a left-hand door. And that's very important. And you want to verify that with your supplier. So again, if you have a good door supplier, they're going to be able to read your plans, know the size, and know the handing. But again, trust but verify. You need to know what this means so that you can look on your orders and minimize mistakes. Because once you order this, if the handing was wrong and it was written on the order sheet, you think they're going to refund you? Nope, that's not the case. Okay, so now you've had some time to familiarize yourself with the architecture set. The structural set is the skeleton of all of this, so you can't build any of the architectural without the structural. Let's look down. In this plan, structural is at the very end. Now the structural, in my opinion, is harder to understand than the architectural. If you're pretty design savvy, you can understand, you know, this is a sink location, this is a fridge location, there's doors, there's windows, but structural is getting into a little more expertise. You're looking at first foundation. So here's our foundation plan. This is showing existing piers, existing slab foundation. We have a new slab for our fireplace. This right here is a new piece of foundation on the back of the house. It has dotted lines. That's how you know where your grade beams are. So after each section in the architecturals and the structural, if there's details, it'll be right after the section. So there was a foundation section, and now we have details. All of these various details are how you're building a perimeter grade beam detail. This is an interior grade beam detail. Dowel connections where existing slab is meeting new slab. You don't have to know all of this. You need to have a foundation contractor that you trust that can translate this stuff for you and help you understand it. But obviously, the more you're exposed, the more these details will make sense to you. Now, we start going up from the foundation. Basement, wall, and header plan. Here's our new walls in the dashed marks, and the headers are noted. Double 2x6 over this opening. Double 1.75 inch by 9.5 LVLs. So it's telling you what each of those headers is. It's also showing steel posts and a variety of other details. You're not gonna know all of these details, especially if you're new, but you need a framer that knows it all, that you trust, that can help you understand it. When you get to the end of the structural set, here is all the details. Some are applicable. For instance, curved stucco framing detail. We have all these details on some specialty moments where steel beams are meeting wood framing, things of that nature. Our different gables. There's all of these different details that you can refer to on how exactly to build this. Now, there's even some boilerplate stuff that might not necessarily apply to this particular project, but usually it's just showing the appropriate detail of a header or the appropriate detail of a window opening, XYZ. These details are super complicated, but once you can understand them, they are your friend. Okay, let's talk about electric, plumbing, and HVAC. First off, where you're gonna get all of your plumbing locations is from the floor plan, just the regular floor plan. So as you can see, there's a toilet right here. I see a sink right here. We see a range right here that needs gas. We have a freezer and a fridge, so there's an ice maker line here. So all of this information is telling you where these fixtures are. Now you and your plumbers are gonna figure out where all the drain lines and water lines are gonna run throughout the whole house. But basically, as long as you know where all of your plumbing fixtures are, your plumber is really gonna be the one that's gonna determine where those water and drain lines go. For electric, there is always a specific electric plan. The electric plan, reflected ceiling plan, is usually together, so that's E101. Now, this is an old plan, so what we do is we color code them. The electric plan is blue because it is our new updated version. So if you look at an electric plan, it is extremely overwhelming. There's dashed lines everywhere. There's these dollar signs. There's all of these different little pictures and symbols. The first thing you need to do is look at the lighting legend. So this legend, it's gonna show you what the symbol is and what it means. This dollar sign is a standard switch. The dollar sign with a 3 is a 3-way switch. Everything that you need to know is right here. So now when you go back on this plan, you see that this little circle with a hash mark is a can light. And you see those littered throughout the whole electric plan. You know that those are your locations. And the good architects, they're gonna show you from the wall is 4 feet 4 to the center of this can. And then from the center of that can to this one is 6 feet. So again, you lay this out with your electrical contractor. These dotted lines are called a daisy chain. What that means is you can always trace that back to a switch. So you come in here. This is the main cans for the kitchen, which is going to be over there. We have one switch here that will turn them on. And what that switch turns on is everything that's daisy chained together. So all of these different things show you literally what switch controls what. And it's really that simple. You can always look back on this plan. You can see where the outlets are. If you look on this plan and there's an outlet on the wall and it's not there, you can hold your electrician accountable. The same thing, if you see a light that's in a certain location and you measure it out and it's not in the right spot, that's how you hold your electrician accountable. Okay, now just like electric, when we're doing high-end homes, we will have a mechanical plan. Actually, in the city of Austin, every plan is supposed to have what's called a manual J, which calculates exactly how much airflow you need, what units you need, where the returns and supplies are, etc. But now, if you look at our mechanical plan, it shows you exactly where the unit is located. Remember, there's another legend, and these legends are your friend. It has gas locations, we have hose bibs, we have all of these linear grills for our special HVAC supply ducts, so on and so forth. So again, you just look at this plan. It shows you where the unit is located, and it shows you all of your duct runs. It shows us our special linear boxes here, air returns here, scuttle holes there. Again, it is all on the plan. And as long as you don't get overwhelmed, you use the legend as a guide and take these things step by step and really understand where they're located, you will be in the know. Now you're a little more familiarized with electric, plumbing, and HVAC. Let's talk sections and elevations. Let's do exterior elevations first. We have an existing elevation. This is the existing house and the proposed elevation. We can clearly see where our gable lines up directly over the center of the house, and then we have a lower gable that's offset. Here's the peak. Here's our beautiful curved window set. There's another window right next to it. It'll also call out materials, stucco. This is stucco over here. Steel column wrapped in stucco surround. It also will show you different elevations. The finished floor elevation, which relates to a pin on the survey, is just a number. This is at 457. Then we're showing finished floor of the second floor right here, and then finished ceiling at the very top. There's going to be an elevation of every side of the house. So now this is the side. This is the front of the house going towards the back. You can see our stairs out here, different curves. Here's where our covered patios are. And then here is where all the existing is, same thing. You also get a nice look at where your windows are oriented around the space. Also different looks at your roof, at chimney lines, things of that nature. Now we're at the back of the house, existing and proposed, showing our rear staircase, all of our beautiful different curves in the stucco that we're actually building out of a structure, curved window units, all of our windows and doors, and this just really orients you with how the house is supposed to look from top to bottom. All right, now let's talk about sections. So why these building sections help is it's like looking into a dollhouse. We see how this roof is interacting with that steel door beyond it. So now you're looking 3D into the house. So you can look in, you see the kitchen. This is a side view. Kitchen, laundry, powder bath. It's showing you how all of this structure is made up, and then it shows you our attic. Look, there's our HVAC unit right in the attic. So a little bit tougher to kind of wrap your mind around, but this really helps you understand, like here's our vaulted ceiling, right? And then here's the ceiling that's lower. When you're looking at this from a bird's eye view, you can't really see all those details. It'll tell you it's vaulted, but how does it look when you're looking at it in a first person perspective? Okay, interior elevations. This is where all the magic happens. The finish out, you're looking at tile lay patterns, you're looking at height of shower fixtures, you're looking at interior glass, cabinet elevations. This is where all the beauty comes together. Okay, so now we're looking at these same bathrooms from the floor plan. A lot of the time, they'll put a cut sheet of the floor plan, but now you're looking at it from that first person perspective. So I can see where the mirror is. This sink, the top of it is at 2'7" off the ground. All the tile is laid out. I see how this tile interacts with the window and interacts with this door. We have all the different angles from the room to where you can see cabinetry, sinks, doors, windows, things like that. Now let's keep moving on. We have a different bathroom. Same thing. You see where the sink is in relation to the door. Now we actually have shower fixtures. This is the inside of the shower right next to the vanity, showing you where the shower fixture is, roughly what heights they're at, how it's oriented. All right, guys, I know that was a ton of information, but if there's one thing I want you to get from this video is that all the information is in these plans. It's like a book that you just have to read. It's that simple. And when you fully understand these plans is how you can hold people accountable when you're building your own house. It's also how you can keep yourself out of trouble. And the more experience you get, you can find holes in these plans and request more details from the architects. Or you can say, hey, in my experience, this isn't gonna work, so let's redraw it, XYZ. The moral of the story is these plans are your best friend. They are literally the roadmap to building this house, and you need to treat them as such. Once you understand these plans, you are now past the first step to building a house. Go out and do it.